been featured in Forbes magazine, the Wall Street Journal, NBC, and many other publications. And now, the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. That is right. It is the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. We'll talk to Blake in just a couple of minutes, a couple of seconds, actually. But in the meantime, if you're looking to get in touch with Blake after some of the information you're going to be hearing in the next 30 minutes, you're going to want to. Here's how you do it. Phone number for Blake at his office at Sloan Realty Group is 843-808-SOLD, 843-808-SOLD, or you can go online to the website at blakesloan.com, blakesloan.com. We'll repeat that contact info several times over the next 30 minutes, so if you didn't get it this time, get it next time. In the meantime, though, here's Blake Sloan.
What's up, everyone? Got an awesome show. Brand new, of course. We finally have the brand new numbers in from last month here in our local market. So we're really going to dig into those numbers, kind of what that means, how we're starting out 2016 so far compared to the previous year. And those numbers look really good. So we're talking about that. Also, go into some new success stories. We've been crushing it lately. Some really cool success stories with listeners of this show. And I think it's really important for me to share those stories with some of you guys out there, and also to kind of share their stories and kind of how much success they've had from that standpoint. Also, we're going to get into, if we have time, how to get the maximum amount of money for your home. And a new article that kind of came out talks about pricing and how the pricing affects the structure and your exposure to the marketplace. So we'll kind of dig into that. And if we have a little more time at the end, too, we're going to dig into playing chess versus checkers in the real estate world. So we'll discuss that, what that means, and how most people end up playing checkers in a world that is built for chess. So we'll talk about it as well.
I'm actually curious what that's all about myself, so I'll have to be listening pretty intently here. But for you, if you are a new listener, let me tell you a little bit about Blake Sloan. Been called the Real Estate Whiz Kid. He's been featured in Forbes magazine, the Wall Street Journal, on NBC TV, on Fox and Press several times, Realtor magazine, many other publications. You've heard the endorsements here on this radio station from Glenn Beck and Sean Hannity. One by itself is, great. Put them all together, it's impressive. Now, every week, Blake tells you a little bit about his trademark systems that he has to make sure that buyers and sellers, if you're working with Blake, have an advantage. And I know that even if this isn't the first time that you're listening to it, you still want to make sure it's ingrained in everybody's head exactly what you do and how you do it, Blake. So give us a quick recap.
I can't say it enough, and it's something that every single person from the show we meet with, we explain this. I made a promise myself a long time ago that I would make sure that I stand on, the rooftops and really, preach this, because it's so important. And it boils down to the single most important variable that determines your failure or success as a home seller or a home buyer in today's marketplace is 100% determined by the agent that you choose, period. That's it, right? Though that's the only thing that matters. Not your house color, not your lawn, not the other things. The agent that you choose or their team, aka their process, is what determines your failure or success, right? In our marketplace, nearly 50% of the properties fail to sell. It's a shocking fact why a lot of people don't like real estate agents, right? So the reason that is basically in the home selling process, there's 118 different variables. If those variables are handled correctly, guess what? You get success. It puts more money in your pocket. If any of those variables are handled incorrectly, you can still probably get it sold, but you may leave money on the table, right? A lot of home sellers will go to the closing table thinking they had, success or even sold it themselves, not realizing left $5,000, $10,000, or $15,000 on the table in those situations. So what we did, reverse engineered every single one of those variable points and create a proven step-by-step system from A to Z to give our clients the ultimate competitive advantage. For home sellers, it's a guaranteed sold system, the only proven system to sell homes twice as fast and for up to 20% more money than traditional methods. And also for our home buyers out there, there's over 100 different variables for home buying, but we have our unfair advantage home buying system. Only proven system basically gets you priority access to all the foreclosures, distress sales, desperate sellers, the absolute best deals for anyone else. Also get you access to the best financing. We interviewed all the mortgage brokers and lenders, found the most aggressive ones who lend the most money for the best rates, and know who to go to based on what type of situation it is. And we're able to get access to that. That's called the unfair advantage home buying system.
All right, that's just the tip of the iceberg here as we get going on this show, and we do it every weekend just for you. Tell you what, if you want to stick around, we encourage you to, because coming up in just a minute, as Blake said, he's got that real estate update, the hottest, newest numbers that have just come out of what's happening in the area, and interest rates, mortgage rates, got those for you as well. Those are some of the most important numbers you'll need to know. That's coming up in just a second. If you want to get in touch with Blake, do so at 808-SOLD, 843-808-SOLD, or go online to the website, BlakeSloan.com.
Hey, it's your friend Sean Hannity. Now, if you own property in Myrtle Beach, the national marketing plan of the realtor that you choose is absolutely critical. Now, that's exactly why you need to talk to Blake Sloan at Sloan Realty Group. Now, Blake has a marketing system on a whole different level than anyone else in Myrtle Beach. That's so effective at capturing local buyers from around the world that he can guarantee to sell your home at a price and a deadline that you agree to, or Blake's going to buy it. While most agents rely on yard signs and open houses that attract the occasional buyer, Blake attracts hundreds of buyers each month, which creates demand and helps your property sell fast and for top dollar. Now, that's why, on average, Blake sells a property every single day of the year and is ranked among the top 100 agents in the entire U.S. by the Wall Street Journal. Now, working with Blake is risk-free. Now, if you're not happy, Blake gives you the freedom to cancel your contract and pay nothing. So give Blake a call today at 808-SOLD. That's 808-SOLD. Or just go online and see Blake's interview on NBC at BlakesGuarantee.com.
Hi, I'm Barbara Corcoran. To sell your home on time for the most money, you need a sharp agent with a marketing strategy that creates the most demand. Bottom line, you need a partner willing to put their own money on the line for you. In Myrtle Beach, I would hire Blake Sloan. His international marketing creates so much demand that if your home doesn't sell at a price and deadline you agree to, Blake will buy it. Partner with the agent I trust. Go online or call and get your home sold.
Welcome back in. It is the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. Remember, if you want to get in touch with Blake, as you heard the phone number a second ago, 808-SOLD, 843-808-SOLD. The website, BlakeSloan.com, Blake Sloan, S-L-O-A-N, BlakeSloan.com. Coming up in just a minute, we've got some mortgage rates, the interest rates, but I know, Blake, that you've been, like you said, you love those numbers.
Oh, yeah.
The new ones that just come in as far as the what the market looks like.
I love to nerd out in the numbers,
There
man.
you
That's
go.
my thing, right? Because that's the only way you can reverse engineer and plan to win, right? So all we do is look at facts, numbers, reverse engineer our strategy based on what's happening. It's how we get money for our clients. It's really simple, right? So a lot of people just don't invest in that I guess data to do so, or the tools to get that. So here's the brand new numbers. They're just out. Single family homes, right, which is houses, sales up 2.6% this past January versus January last year, which is great because we saw a huge increase last January as well, right? First part of the year is up double digits. So we're seeing an additional increase from there at 2.6%. Here's the key point though, right? What are my prices worth? Median home sales price up 8.2%. And there's really actually double digits for traditional, basically versus new construction. The regular resale homes is actually much more than that. It's up near 12%. I'll talk about that in a second. Condo sales were down slightly, 3.9% for the month, but check this out. Median price in condos is up 18.6%. So it's important to know there, right, where the sales are down. You want to know why, right? Part of that has to do with less inventory. There's been a lot of really strain on inventory in certain price ranges in both houses and condos. We'll kind of talk about that as well. Lot sales were up 50% for the month, which is huge. And if you look at median sales price there, they were down 20%. That has to do, though, with where lots are located. There's all kind of different demographics and areas, and some are more rural, and basically people have been trying to find land to put more lots in to build more new homes, right? And people have been scooping those up. So that's the big challenge there is inventory. Once it comes to the market, obviously they can, obviously be sold for more inventory. That's why the sales were up, because more inventory came in the market. So that's kind of the important part, right? Into the single family numbers, we had 2 months of declining sales right from the previous, basically the month, the same year before. January, like I said, up 2.6%. The inventory increased slightly in January, which we knew. It has not kept up the pace with sales, though. We always talk about this show after show. The first of the year, people who wait to the holidays jump and put their house on the market, right, which in turn adds to the inventory. So that's something we've seen, but inventory is still very, very, very tight, especially in a lot of the home price ranges that are selling. So important there. Here's the median sale price. Median price up to $196,680, up 8.2% for the month. Here's the difference, though, if you take out new construction and resale, because most people, if you group them together, right, you can really screw up if you don't know what your numbers are. New construction price is only up 1.7%, and the resale activity, which is houses that are built pretty much what your house is, you're listening, 12.6% increase compared to January 2015. So basically, a year later, your price is worth 12.6% more overall. Now, next week, we're going to dig into the micro markets, which is so much more fascinating. We know exactly what areas are selling for more, and you'll see a big discrepancy. Some areas sell a lot more. For example, Myrtle Beach versus Carolina Forest, Conway versus, North Myrtle Beach, all different areas there. We'll dig into more detail to kind of let you know what your neighborhood is selling for next week. but that's important numbers to know there. The average listed sale price ratio for homes in January is 94%. So what that means on average, if a house is listed at $100,000, guess how much it sells for? $94,000, right? So that's the important thing there. The condo sales decreased, like I said, 3.9% after a year of steady growth. But the key number, which is most important to watch here, because it is kind of like a pot or recipe of all different types of numbers between inventory, basically, so it's all supply and demand driven. So the one key thing to look at is basically prices up 18.6% for median price in January. And that's kind of the key part we talked about there. So looking at how many are on the market right now, single-family homes in Horry County, there's 4,251 houses in the market. There's a lot, right? So there's still a lot of inventory, still less than where it was when it was over 5,000. For Georgetown, 710 houses on the market. That's 4,961 total. So it's important there to know that, okay, even though inventory is down, right, things are selling correctly, things are priced correctly, selling really quick, you still want to make sure you have the right person that can market your property for you, that gets differentiated. It doesn't just compare, apples to apples to whoever's on the street, and that kind of gets the difference we'll talk about later about playing chess. But here also, the condo market right now, Horry County, 3,500 condos in the market exactly. In Georgetown County, there's 336. So we're right at 4,900 homes in the market and 3,836 condos in the market. If you look at average list price in the market, Myrtle Beach, $352,575. That's average listing price. The median list price, $249,999. So that kind of goes through the different basics there, kind of what we talked about, and that's something that's key to kind of look at and understand from that standpoint. So into the other part too, kind of lots. We're at 1,514 lots in Horry County, 640 lots in Georgetown County. So inventory is down from where it was, but it's something to watch and kind of see. So that's kind of the key numbers to kind of go through from that standpoint. If you look at how many closed sales we have in our marketplace in January, we have 388. So if you look at the same January last year, 378. So 10 more sales. We saw the increase there, obviously, in the amount of sales that we had. So that's great news overall for that month. Median sales price last January was $181,850. Now, $196,680. So you can see that jump there, significant, right? And almost $15,000 and that difference to where it was before to where it is now. So that's good news out there for people that are underwater. Your house might be worth a lot more than you think it is right now, especially when we dig in next week into the micro markets of what each neighborhood is selling for. Obviously, you don't want to wait till then. But that's kind of one key number that really makes a big difference. This is just everything in general. But your neighborhood could be different. Your section of the beach could be different. It's important to kind of note. Last year, the same listed sale price ratios were the exact same number, right at 94%. We did see it jump up in the past few months around 95% in some areas. So it all depends on which area of the beach you're at from that standpoint. Obviously, we're at 94% year to date. New construction versus resale. We did see a slight increase in the amount of homes that are being sold in the marketplace. So, for example, new construction right now in January represented 35% of the marketplace, and resales are 65% of the marketplace. So, if you compare that to the same month last year, it was 33% new construction. We're 2% more new construction now. What does that have to do with? There's more inventory in the market now, which is in turn why it's able to be sold. People have been building like crazy. And they're able to obviously make sure that's kind of why that's selling as well. So that's kind of the key number there. If you look at median sales price of new construction, though, it's $223,775, and the resale median price $187,000. So that's why it's important that whoever your agent is, you want to make sure you have an expert who's obviously knowledgeable and can break these numbers out. So if you just combine them, you can really screw up because you're not sure, you're not doing apples to apples when you're kind of comparing those two. So that's something that's important as well. The same thing, closed sales for condos in January, there were 248 closed. The same month last year, 258. So there was 10 short. So in homes, we had 10 more amount of houses sold in January. In condos, we had 10 less sold. So that's just something to kind of keep a note there to make sure you have median sales price in Myrtle Beach here, our entire marketplace, Horry, Georgetown County, $116,500 for a median price for condos. Last year, they were $98,250. So we're seeing an increase in the thing that means the most, which is what? Prices, right? So that's kind of the general overall market there for everybody. We can kind of dig into that really in the neighborhood by neighborhood next week. The one key thing that's really kind of fueling this right now, interest rates. I think we've talked about this. We can kind of jump in that if you want to. The one thing here, 30-year fixed rate right now is 3.66%. Last week we were at a 52-week low. If you guys remember that, right? Last week it was 3.55. Now it's 3.66. We obviously see that jump around. We always have been talking about, and everybody's been talking about, how much people have been taking a hit in the stock market, right? People do that when that gets affected. Obviously put money in the bond market, which in turn affects interest rates, right? So that's where we're seeing these ridiculously low rates, and why we expect a really, really hot spring right now, which we're seeing that. Because buyers are coming in, buyers are buying. We see a lot of people who can pull their money out of the stock market and put it into real estate where people are just frustrated. We got a lot of people who are fed up. We got even clients who are buying properties. They don't care. They're paying the fees, in some cases the taxes, in different things they have and investing that, like self-directed IRAs, different things that people are doing client-wise with us as well. And if you're thinking about doing that, definitely reach out to us for sure as well. 15-year fixed rate right now, 2.96%. We're below the 3% mark, which is amazing. Last week was 2.90. 30-year FHA loan right now, 3.25%. That's crazy. That's 3% down. You put basically your finance at 97%. 3.25 is right now we're actually at the 52-week low still for that rate, which is really, really good. Which is obviously the lowest rate in a year if you want to break it down. A 30-year jumbo loan, 3.49%. We're slightly above the 52-week low, which was last week. Still ridiculously low for the big money, right? Anything over $417,000 in a loan amount is a jumbo loan, which you guys probably know by now if you're listening a lot. And a 5-year adjustable rate mortgage, 2.90%, which is only up slightly from 2.85. So we're seeing that bounce around, right? For example, we're still right at that mark where it's 52-week low. So what does that mean for anybody out there buying, anybody thinking about moving up? You want to take advantage of this. And some of my buddies who are in different mastermind groups across the country of mine, we were talking about how ridiculously low rates are, and they're seeing the same thing in other parts of the country, even like Michigan and other places. Buyers are jumping in because rates are still low. People who waited, people who waiting for deals, right? The other thing we're looking at, prices, median prices going up, like we talked about. Rates are low, you can still be able to buy low and get that before rates jump back up, which everyone's kind of predicting is going to happen in the fourth quarter this year. So great news for both home sellers, great news for home buyers out there. We are recovering well and recovering in a very stable way, which is great news for everybody out there.
Speaking of buyers, we have a hot buyers alert coming up for you in just a second. And also, for everybody who listens to the show, you're like, can this stuff work for me? Well, yeah, actually we can. Got some success stories to tell you about in just a second as well, as we're listening to the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. Want to get in touch with Blake? Easy to do. Call him at 843-808-SOLD. That's 808-SOLD. You can also go on to the website, blakesloan.com, blakesloan.com.
You want your home sold on time and for the most money without all sorts of excuses? Hi, it's Glenn Beck, and when I had to sell my home, I went through several agents who all had good ideas. The bottom line is they could do the job done. Well, if you have a celebrity in your own town, if I lived in Myrtle Beach, no question, I would call Blake Sloan of Sloan Realty Group. Blake has a marketing system.
We can back it up about 10 minutes left. Okay, cool, thank you.
Around the world, and we have the attracts hundreds of buyers. That creates incredible support. That's why you can guarantee to sell your home the price of the deadline that you agree to, or he's going to buy. Plus, you don't really risk anything when you list with Blake. If he doesn't live up to the contract, you walk away free and clear. It's really no wonder why Sean Hannity and I, along with real estate tycoon and Shark Tank star Barbara Corcoran, endorse Blake. Call Blake Sloan right now, 808-SOLD. That's 808-SOLD. Or visit Blake's website, that's blakesguarantee.com. blakesguarantee.com. Or listen to Blake's Real Estate Show every Saturday morning at 9 or Sunday morning at 11:30, right here on WRNA.
It is the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan from Sloan Realty Group. As you heard Glenn Beck say, the phone number 808-SOLD if you want to get in touch with Blake. That's 843-808-SOLD at his office there at Sloan Realty Group. Coming up in just a second, some great success stories. But first of all, a hot buyers alert. Blake and his team working with just a huge amount of home buyers. They're looking for homes in the Myrtle Beach area, anywhere in the range between $150,000 to $3.5 million. If you're in that range, you're thinking about selling, contact Blake. He needs the inventory. 808-SOLD. That's 843-808-SOLD. And as far as people who are actively looking for homes in the Myrtle Beach area, Blake spends a lot of money to get people onto the website. And once they do, they're hooked. It's, better than playing the Kardashian games on your phone or something like that, or Angry Birds. People are back not just every couple of days, but several times a day and almost at every hour to look, okay, what's new out there. Currently, as of this minute, there are over 21,000, actually about 21,924 was the last number that I saw of people that are actively looking for homes on your website right now.
Absolutely. We have a massive, massive amount of buyers. We cover this every week because it's so important. where people understand the difference in business models and how real estate works. And, most people, if you have a realtor, most are part-time. Like, we know the average real estate agent sells 4 homes a year. So if you look at the mathematics of that, they don't have a whole lot of money to spend in advertising, right? The big challenge with that is how most agents operate. They operate the same way, where you have one single agent trying to juggle all the balls. They try to do buyers, they try to work with sellers, they try to do all their marketing, all their admin, all their contract to close, and that's like having the same person at McDonald's do the front register, the drive-through, and the French fries at the same time. It does not make sense, which is why there's a 50% failure rate, right? You wouldn't go to a restaurant like that, but people still use their friend or use some agent that was referred to them that may not be that great in what they do. So how are we different? My business model. That's myself and a listing partner. I handle listings, right? Certain things. We have a team of buyers experts. They only work with buyers. So we're a team of specialists. They have 7 of those. All they do every day is work with buyers. So what does that mean for you guys? I can spend more money to acquire buyer clients. It's pretty much the bottom line. So that's how I have almost 22,000 active buyers searching our site right now. Also spend the site that we use is basically the most advanced search tool in the net. Get your priority access. It texts them. It does all kind of cool stuff. We spend $1,500 a month just for that site. For the technology. So the other difference here, I spend $10,000 a month driving traffic to this site, which is in turn how we get to right at 22,000 buyers. Right now, like Dave said, we're 21,924. So these are real numbers, right? We always say that one thing that matters in what we do is results. Agents a lot of times promise the world, and all they do is they put the house in MLS and they hope someone else sells it. Here, we have a step-by-step process. We're able to show you, and every single time we meet with somebody, especially listeners to the show, they're like, oh my gosh, I wish I'd have called you 6 months ago, right? Whatever it is, because we show them word for word. Like right now, Marie Smith, she's from Clover, South Carolina. She's been to the site 122 times. Mike Bahasik, he's been here 514 visits. So that's what I'm saying. These people have an account with us. They're not somebody who just went and submitted their email one time and they were done, right? These people have accounts, and these are the active people that we name that number. We have well over 40,000 people who are just submitted over the years. They bought, they sold. So these are active buyers we were talking about. Beth Trimble, she's been here 124 visits. Bill Perla, 248 visits. So the reason I say this is because this is reality, this is facts, right? The only thing that matters when you sell your house is results. So that comes from dealing with facts and reality, so it's important to do that. So why do I say this? We need listings. If you're thinking about selling, I need you to call us, 843-808-SOLD. We're going to share some really cool success stories in a second, but we need inventory. Anything we get that's priced right, we're selling the heck out of it, and it's selling very, very quickly, especially into right now's market, into the spring market. Buyers are coming down. One of our agents showed 24 houses in the past 48 hours, and that's something that basically just showing people in town. These people, one of them had to buy tonight before they leave to go back to New York. So we have a massive amount of buyers. These buyers we have from all over. Obviously, the majority of them are from up north. We're getting, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania. We have buyers from China, from Dubai, all over. We spend the most money where the most eyeballs are at, right? That's on Google. We also have a big, huge budget we spend in radio, which obviously our radio show, our radio endorsements throughout the week from Sean Hannity, Glenn Beck, also the Barbara Corcoran you heard, which is on TV. So we do that to capture a lot of local buyers and sellers too, but to increase their brand name as we do. And obviously, I like this part, sharing information. This is by far my favorite aspect and also the favorite clients I work with. But so the reason I share this, if you're thinking about selling, I need you to call. The other thing too, if you know somebody, I need you to refer us. Say, look, we listen to Blake Sloan on the weekend. Give them a call. Their systems are unmatched, and I guarantee you it'll blow anything they've seen away, anything you've seen away. One thing too, we're also in the spring market, we're looking for a home builder to partner with. We have an opportunity for anybody out there. If you're listening, you're a home builder, call me. If you have somebody you know that's a home builder, building specs, had trouble selling them. If you look at how most agents operate, we do this all the time. We do what we call a SWOT analysis, right? A strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. Most of the marketing for these new homes is horrible, right? Because most either we're a builder, they specialize in their craft, they're very passionate about their art that they do, but the marketing side is just an absolute failure in most places. And most of them use an agent that they know, they're doing some discount, whatever it may be, and guess what? All they do is put in MLS, which is why your houses aren't selling, which is why you're not getting results that you want, and which in turn keeping you from building more and making more money. So if you want to make more money, if you have a builder out there that you know, have them call me. We have a system I guarantee will blow your socks off, because the last builder we worked with, we sold out every single thing they had that was able to be sold, and that's the thing that we do. So we work with ones strategically. It does take a lot of time and energy, but we're able to make sure we just knock it out the park for you as well. And one thing too, we always talk about houses because I like talking about that because that's what everybody here listens mostly deals with. But commercial, we sell a lot of commercial too. If you have a commercial property, have to get it sold, reach out, call me. That's something that's very important as well. If you want, Dave, we can kind of go into those success stories, which is really cool.
Sounds good.
And I kind of, the one thing I mentioned too, Billy Roberts, who's awesome. I mentioned that last week really quick, but he referred his neighbor. That's something I'm very, very proud of. Refer people you know, right? Because not everyone listens to this, but your neighbor needs it, right? And here's why I give this example. I wanted just to cap it one last time because the person that he referred, I met with him, amazing people. They never spoke with or met their agent one single time in 6 months.
That's amazing.
Unreal, right? I guess via email and they had an assistant or something that, so total failure. And the house sat vacant in the market, nothing, right? Hardly any action. It's a $400,000 house, right? So I need you guys to be warriors out there, to be advocates, right? To share this message with everyone and be able to get results for them, right? You don't want your neighbors sitting out there, or friends or relatives, whatever it may be, going through this time and time again. I guarantee you, the first thing anyone says is, "Man, wish we would have called you before." So here's the follow-up story to last week. I mentioned you guys, and Joseph. He's a listener. He actually, I talked to him after, and he's like, "Man, that was, basically me you're talking about on there." So we talked about him last week. He was somebody who needed to sell fast. He just needed $100,000 for his house. I said, "Dude, we can get you a lot more than $100,000 for your house," right? Now, if I was some predatory investor, guess what? And even a lot of agents would do this. Guess what they would say? "Oh man, I'll give you $100,000 today," right? My job, my passion is to be the absolute best and get you the most amount of money, right? I'm competitive as heck when it comes to anything. So I said, we can at least get you 160. Remember, he wanted to do 155. He asked me to lower 155. We signed at 155. Okay, I said, "No, dude." I called him back and said, "Hey, Joseph, let's bump it up to 160. Right? He said, "Okay." I said, "Just trust me on this." I told him we had 7 showings in the past 6 hours. I put it that night before. You guys remember that, right? Mm-hmm. Check it out. We got an offer Monday. 166 cash, close in 2 weeks. Guess who brought the offer? One of my buyer experts. Imagine that, right? One of our buyers we matched them up, $6,000 over asking. We had 2 offers on the table. One from some other company, one from ours, in $166,000. He would have settled for $100,000. We just put 66 more grand in his pocket. So, why is it important for you to tell your neighbor to call me? Same exact reason right there. Why is it important for you to call me? Same reason there from that standpoint. Here's another really cool story. Who's another awesome listener. His name is Joe McCauley. Joe, you're probably listening. He's an awesome listener on the weekends. He met with me five months ago, and we determined, based on the numbers, to advise him to hold off on listings. Hey, man, hold off. The numbers just aren't right now. It's a condo he had. And that's because when we have a consultation, we're not here to sell you or push you anything. We just go through, here it is. In this situation, we advise him not to. 5 months later, the numbers work, came to me listed this week. Awesome story. So I actually got an email from him. I'm going to read it really quick. He sent this to me last night. He said, "Blake, once again, decision listed for you guys has been confirmed. As you know, I'm a certified residential appraiser, and as confidentially doesn't allow me to share the information of this deal, I've been hired to appraise a property that someone on your team is a listing agent. While doing due diligence in the history of the property, I found that it had been listed, withdrawn, and expired 3 times before it listed with Sloan Realty Group. And a contract was written with you guys in less than 120 days. It was previously listed with another firm since 2014. You guys stepped in and got it done. So 3 times failure before us. We stepped in and got it done, which is really cool. So I got time for one more real quick.
No, actually, we got about 30 seconds left.
All right, so I'll share that one for next week. Brian Hall is an awesome person out there who shared basically a text with me last night. We'll share as well. So why did I say it? Call me. If you're thinking about selling, call me. If you have someone out there, 843-828-SOLD. Just reach out to me, or you go to BlakeSloan.com. But just go ahead. Don't wait till Wednesday. Just call me right now.
All right. It is the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. We're trying to prove it to you each and every week. If you'd like to get in touch with Blake, it's easy to do. As he said, 808-SOLD. That's 843-808-SOLD. Of course, you can go to BlakeSloan.com, BlakeSloan.com to get a little bit deeper into the numbers that you've just been hearing about. Blake, thanks for doing it again next week.
Yeah, that one went fast, man.
That's how the way it goes. All right, it is the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan.
Hey, it's your friend Sean Hannity. Now, if you own property in Myrtle Beach, the National